towards permanent. Education is essentially an intimation to the younger generation into the cultural traditions of the society. We in India are heirs to a long and rich cultural tradition. It would be inexcusable for any educated Indian not to be conversant with our artistic and cultural traditions. Culture is, however, not static. Culture is a dynamic phenomenon, develops with positive responses to new challenges. Our culture is in a process of modernization. The past traditions are being crossed with the scientific and technological culture of the West, and an integrated modern Indian culture is in progressive revolution. It is in such a process that we are privileged to be participants. Our constitution has placed before us the vision of a new social, economic and practical order. The best in the past is being retained and further developed, while where change is required, change is sought to be brought about. The new order is that of an egalitarian society where all people are assured of equality of status as well as of opportunities. There are sections of our population who have been regulated to positions and subversiveness and made to suffer from social, religious and economic disabilities. The agrarian power structure has to be radically altered, and many programs like land reforms are steps in this direction. Our universities have to bring about in their students a keen awareness of the existing structure of our society and reforms that are called for. As a noted intellectual has put it, most people are alive in an earlier time, but you must be alive in our own time. It is no use if education does not lead to a strong sense of contemporary reality. The universities have to train students to be potent agents of social change that we are endeavoring to engineer. It is only with such education relevant to our time and relevant also in the context of present conditions in our country that we can succeed in achieving the ideals of social and economic equality and justice that are enshrined in our constitution. Our university students, finding large sections of earlier generations of graduates remaining unemployed, begin to feel skeptical about their own future. The system of education, which is heavily weighted in favor of bookish knowledge and which is not quite pragmatic, relevant or functional to the extent desirable, is also a factor that adds to their disquiet. It is also possible that a few young people enter universities who are not fit for and attuned to the spirit of higher education. All in all, we see unquiet campuses in several universities. Another element that sometimes enters in the scene is incursion of politics, which aggravates an already difficult situation. It is the responsibility of the universities to inspire their pupils with a sense of direction and purpose. The students should be helped to realize that just because they are part of the educated elite, they should not stand aloof from the common people, but that they should feel at one with them and feel a joyous sense of participation in the thrilling adventure in which we are all engaged in building up our country as a great and prosperous nation. The time spent in the university is a time that is devoted to studies as a preparation for entering the world at large. At this stage, it would be desirable to study ideologies of various political parties as well as national objectives and priorities, but active indulgence in politics is inadvisable and would have to avoid completion of the educational process. With these improvements, we would create a climate that would be conducive to concentration on studies and on research, the pursuit of which is the main purpose for which the universities exist. Necessarily, in view of the inexhaustible nature of knowledge, students have to pursue studies in their arts or science, but institutions of the highest levels of education have to give students to coordinated understanding of both the cultures of science and technology on the one hand and arts and humanities on the other. While those who study humanities should develop also the spirit of scientific inquiry contrary, those who pursue scientific knowledge should also cultivate a taste for arts and humanities. Maturity of mind results from such a balanced and comprehensive view of life. Wisdom is more than knowledge, and knowledge more than information. I would like to regard your present success as but a significant milestone in the process of lifelong continuing education.